Okay. Sweet. Straight off the bat, I'm gonna say this game, just this opening scene looks gorgeous. This is where I start. Lighthouse, the bay, the caves, and the beacon. We'll start off, obviously, at the lighthouse, which is seemingly where this scene takes place. Yes.
Dear Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
Okay, interesting. So, for a minute there, when I was looking out here and that started talking, I had no idea that I was actually supposed to do anything. So, let's have a look around. Kind of spooky. Flashlight is automatic, so I suppose it's one less button I have to worry about, right? Ooh, it's like the genius of modern technology right there. Oh, bog, nice one. Just watch it. I won't be sitting on that anytime soon. There we go. Hang on. Some maps and stuff. Heavy winds are blowing. Okay. Some. Okay. I hate chemistry. I don't, but chemistry in games is just annoying. Alright, is there anything else I can do with this control pad? Oh, hello. So if I press A, I look forwards. Okay, the buttons just seem to trigger looking at stuff. Same goes for the triggers. So basically, from what I gather at the moment, I can walk backwards and forwards and turn. Okay? Simple. Simple stuff. I like simple. There's no way I can screw this up, right? Some pretty rocks and stuff. Alright. Just climb over there. If I'd have done that in real life, I'd have fallen to my death.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
Righto. They get down the cliff? Okay, that wasn't cool. Falling off a cliff. Wandering along the beach. It's a very pretty beach. Nice and relaxing. If I ever wanted a nice screensaver, this would be it, I suppose. Except I come from a seaside town, so no. Noticing the controls are a bit jerky. Oh hello, that's a path. The controls are a little bit jerky. Interesting. Can't copy. Ah.
At night, you can see the lights sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs, they are mundane. But down here, they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel.
Yeah, mate. Rockin'. Do.
Dr. Li's book had not
Hello?
been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
Ah! Stupid fence. You get in my way, will you? Sorry, I just can't make this really all that exciting. But I'll say it again, it looks nice.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Righto. Whatever you say, Pally. I'm just here to enjoy the old scenery. Okay. Yeah.
I quote directly. A motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most God-forsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
Probably not. Sounds like a very nice read. I mean, seriously. You know, death, depression. It's all good. Everything you want when you're on a holiday on this wonderful island. Hang on, so it must be... What was I just looking at?
Dear Esther.
Oh, hello.
I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
Oh, crap, now my feet are wet. Oh. Don't like it. Have I just done a lap? Are you serious? Have I just done a lap? I've done a lap. I think. Just be going back the wrong way. Ooh. Yep, going back the wrong way. Oh well. Hello. There be a path down here, good sir. Perhaps I should mention that this is this game, and from playing it to this point, which is not very long in, sarcastic air quotes. This was originally a mod, from what I've been led to believe, of Half-Life 2. So, if you don't really fancy paying out for this, because obviously you now pay for it, they're selling it on.
I stood in the center of the sun, and the
Yes,
solar radiation
on Steam. You can always go and download the mod.
My teeth will curl and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
Up here then? Yeah, let's go up this way. You know what would have made this game so much more exciting? A jump button. Oh god, that's a bad sign. All the music stops, there's no talking. Oh, sorry, it's gone dark. A good thing or a bad thing?